We heard what they purchased, what brand, we heard at what price point, and we also heard what their intended use is. And so in the research, what we do is we break that down for the dealers so they can get a better understanding of their buyers.
You're listening to the Drone Radio Show podcast, the show about drones and the people who use them for business, fun, and research. Hosted by Randy Goers.
Hello everyone, this is Randy Goers and welcome to this bonus edition of the Drone Radio Show. Recently, I attended the Drone Dealer Expo, a 3-day event for drone dealers, held in Orlando, Florida. The event brought together drone manufacturers, distributors, dealers, and resellers to learn about new products and selling opportunities. As conference chairman, Ted Bauer explains, the expo is directed to dealers, many of who are new to the industry.
Drone Dealer Expo is really the first drone conference and exhibition that is designed to bring the whole channel together. So it's not for end users, it's not for drone service businesses, it's for companies that resell drones to others, distributors, manufacturers, and dealers, to talk about issues that are specific to their needs. A lot of the dealers are very new to selling drones, and so there's a tremendous need for them to get together and network and exchange ideas and find out really what are the most effective ways to do it. How do I sell it? What are the hottest accessories? How do I get warranties and extended warranties to walk out the door? What's coming with the FAA regulations that I need to worry about? And really just getting some focused direction on what they're doing in this exploding market.
The keynote was delivered by Colin Snow of the Drone Analyst, who presented the findings of a survey that he completed on the sales and distribution of drones in the U.S. I caught up with Colin after the presentation to get a quick summary and overview of the research and some advice for drone dealers.
One of the key findings that we found in our research is that we understood from the buyers themselves. We heard what they purchased, what brand, we heard at what price point, and we also heard what their intended use is. And so in the research, what we do is we break that down for the dealers so they can get a better understanding of their buyers, to understand at what price points are the most popular drones and the popular brands coming in and being sold at. And then what are the reasons why they bought it? Because I think it's important for them to understand who the buyer is in terms of, are they buying it just for hobby use or are they buying it for commercial use? And what we found in our study is that for by and large, when you get above $1,000 and especially above $2,000, that buyer is buying it for professional use. So that's the kind of insight that's in the report.
Does the research give a dealer enough information to begin developing some selling strategies or modifying their strategies in terms of reaching the buyer's needs?
Yeah, one of the things we did is we asked them, for example, what type of accessories did people buy after they bought their drone? What kind of accessories did they get? And so the survey shows that they're buying, obviously batteries, that's the obvious one. But there's other accessories that people should be offering, and those are ranked in order by most important to least important. So that's in there.
Any surprises that came out of the survey?
Yeah, the one we did that came out, at least for that one in particular, to that question, which is, what accessory, we saw that micro SD cards was high on the list. So if the dealer is not offering a micro SD card at the time of purchase, they may want to think about that strategy.
If you were speaking to dealers, what advice would you give them for the upcoming year?
I'd get them to think about understanding that a lot of buyers are professional and they need to look at that professional market and kind of look at the intended uses and follow those markets to understand where they may want to capture specialty buyers who may be wanting to buy their drone for some kind of special purpose. So beyond just what's normal prosumer or selfies, right, there is a real commercial market, and even in that $1,000 to $2,000 range, our survey showed that 61% of the buyers were buying for some kind of commercial activity, and that means either commercial activity where they're actually an industry or for some kind of public use like for research or police and fire or first responders. So important stuff to know about who the buyer is.
The full report, packed with all sorts of insights, is available on the Drone Analyst website beginning on April 25th. Also at the Drone Dealer Expo was Jonathan Ruperk, a leading attorney focusing on helping individuals and businesses understand and navigate the FAA and the federal aviation regulations. Jonathan was part of a panel on the FAA regulations. As would be expected, this session was highly attended and valued by the attendees. Many of the questions had to do with the impending Part 107 FAA rules, rumored to be published this summer. With so much confusion over what the rules might say, I asked Jonathan what advice he would give the drone operators who may be waiting for the rules to come out.
I think the best business model would be pursue the 333 and a pilot's license, because worst case scenario, you have that, okay, and you can operate. Best case scenario, you stop operating under that and you operate under easier flight restrictions, but you have a business model you can start developing and going towards, as opposed to, hey, let's hold out and pray and hope and maybe operate illegally according to what the FAA says, and then risk either an enforcement action or being known as that shady guy by a lot of these clients in developing that certain reputation. So I think it'd be better to go down that road. There's at least certainty with that. Even though it's annoying, it's restrictive, there's at least certainty with that.
That may not be welcome advice to many operators who have been looking at Part 107 as a panacea for the current shortcomings in the certification process. It gets a little more murky as Jonathan explains the challenges the FAA has in publishing the rule in the next couple of months, as expected.
I think that the 107, there's only two scenarios. It either comes out illegally in June or July, and then there'll be a lawsuit over it, probably from ALPA or HAI, or it will come out legally much later on, and it'll take a much longer process because the FAA has not even sent it out to the Department of Transportation for review. After that, it has to go over the Office of Management Budget, then Office of Information Regulatory Affairs, then it gets published. All that would have to get done in the next couple months. That's very unlikely to legally happen, right? So they can try to say that there's an emergency and then it'll quickly issue it that way, the same way they did with the drone registration problem. But what happened there is they ended themselves up in a lawsuit with John Taylor and myself. At this moment, I don't think there's enough to really go on because there's a couple of things that need to get answered. The John Taylor case specifically, that's going to have to shake out before I think the FAA really knows what it wants to do with 107 and the micro rule.
So we're all going to have to stay tuned over the next couple of months to see when and how things shake out for Part 107. In the afternoon, I moderated a panel on hot drone accessories for 2016. The panel included Rick Bowman of Go Professional Cases, Tim Nielsen of Get FPV, and Liz Pezel of Parrot. Much of the discussion focused on how drone dealers can provide product bundles that respond to the full need of their customers while also maximizing their sales. I think the key takeaway from this session is that if a person is buying a drone, the dealer should be presenting the accessories that will enable the user to achieve the greatest experience. After all, there's nothing worse than buying a product, getting it home, then realizing you have to go back to the store to buy something. The day's session ended with a live FPV racing demonstration by Chris Thomas of MultiGP in the parking lot outside of the convention center. This was a great opportunity to see racing drones in action and a talk with other attendees as the day winded down. I was only able to attend the first day of the Drone Dealer Expo, but before I left, I asked Ted Bauer to give us a little insight into InterDrone 2016, one of the largest consumer and education drone conferences in the U.S.
Well, InterDrone is going to be September 7th through 9 at the Paris Hotel in Las Vegas. At the first InterDrone, we had 99 exhibitors. 2,800 people attended. We had 100 classes. It was tremendous. This year, we're going to have 120 plus classes, so we're adding about 20% to the session load. And then expect about 135 exhibitors. We have a film festival. We have a drone tank, which is a Shark Tank type of event where entrepreneurs get to pitch VCs on their ideas. The Women in Drones networking luncheon. So many things. It's hard to explain them all, but we're expecting about 4,000 people in Las Vegas. InterDrone is for the commercial users of drones, so anybody that's using a drone to make money, whether they're doing cinematography, videography, or doing inspection, precision agriculture surveying, things like that, or building drones professionally, so in other words, engineers and software developers.
That's my quick report of the Drone Dealer Expo, at least the day that I attended. Check the Drone Radio Show website for more information about the event. And don't forget InterDrone 2016 in September in Las Vegas, which is sure to answer many of your drone-related questions and interests. Thanks for listening. For the Drone Radio Show, this is Randy Gores.
This has been the Drone Radio Show podcast. More information on today's show can be found on our website at www.droneradioshow.com. If you're using drone technology for business, fun, or research and would like to share your experience on the show, please visit our website and fill out a guest appearance application. And don't forget to follow us on your favorite social media channels.